welcome to CEO.CA. My name is James Petham, and today I'm joined by Anthony Moreau. Anthony is CEO of American Eagle Gold. They are a copper gold exploration story coming out of BC, trading on the venture exchange under the ticker AE. Anthony, great to have you with us today.
James, thanks for having me on this platform.
Well, I think without further ado, let's dive right into it. So today, I really want to discuss some news that came out last week. So for anyone who's been following American Eagle, and you do have a very active community on CEO.CA who are paying attention. You had some news back in, I believe it was May, some major investment from Teck, close to $3 million. And just last week, you announced a second additional financing of $2.67 million. So I'm wondering if you can speak to that. How did that relationship with Teck begin? And then, what convinced them to come in for a second round of financing? And what does that additional financing and money in the bank mean for American Eagle?
Yeah, really good question, James. So first of all, we got contacted by many majors when we came out with our first drill hole last November. Our stock went up nearly 10x. And we had some companies that come in the data room. Teck was a Canadian company, very well respected, involved with many big exploration discoveries. And it doesn't matter how big or small the project is. It usually takes around the same time. It took about 6 months of due diligence on their part. They're in our data room, looking at our data. They want to wait till all of our assays came out. They went to site, spoke to some of the stakeholders, and they decided to make that investment. And why that was important to us was really two things. There's a lot of different projects around there. There's 1,000 other juniors, 1,000 other CEOs all saying the same thing that I'm saying, which we have a great property. Teck gives that stamp of approval, that credibility for NAC for that project. And why else it's good is we don't want to blow up our cap structure. We want to look after our current investors, and we don't want to dilute them. So when you do these deals with a company like Teck, what you're doing is you're doing them at a premium. There's no warrants. There's no broker fees. We did charity flow through. So the first deal we did, our stock was at 10.5 cents. Teck paid 13, and the front end ended up being 20.5, so almost 100% premium. Almost the same thing this time around. Our stock was trading around 24.5 cents. We did a deal at 28 cents, and the front end was 45 cents, so almost 100% premium again. And shareholders should be happy because there's Teck's not going to be selling the shares, even though they're getting diluted. They're not getting diluted in the sense that those shares will be freely trading. Teck invests us because they believed in the property. And again, the first deal we did with Teck, that gave credibility, I believe, to NAC. We are really liking what we're seeing drilling, and we can't come up with our assays soon enough. It takes time for your assays. And we want to drill more. Again, we don't want to dilute our current shareholders. So again, first deal with Teck showed the credibility of the property. I think the second deal with Teck shows the credibility with our first drill hole, which was the best drill hole we've done to date, and one of the best drill holes in this entire region.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about that drill hole. So came out a couple of weeks ago at this point, 776 meters of 0.5% copper equivalent. How does that kind of confirm or advance your theories about any potential resource at NAC, and what's in store in terms of assays still to come?
I don't think the market has fully understood how great this hole was, and this isn't going to be the first hole like that in the region. We believe that this South Copper Gold Zone, which we thought was shallow and had some high grades at surface, really does go to depth and at width. And this was the big aha moment for me as a CEO. It's like, I could actually see this being a mine. 780 meters of 0.5%, that's what you build mines at. I was just at site a couple weeks ago at NAC, and I passed the Babine, Bell, Grand Isle mine, and James, they're mining that in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they're doing it at less of a grade than what we just pulled out of the ground just now. And remember, this isn't a length grade that we're cherry picking some high grade blips in between. Pretty much from surface to the end, it's pretty much almost the exact same grade. It's continuous, and that's what really major miners are looking for. And look, you can have a nice real estate on the top of the Andes or in the Arctic. But it's a lot different than having nice real estate in Smithers. And it's all about your location And you look at the mines that they're mining, copper, gold, porphyries in Canada. They're at 0.3, they're at 0.4% copper equivalent. So that recent hole we have is above it, and I have every confidence that we'll be able to give the market equal, if not better, drill holes coming up. So this is just the beginning, and we're still waiting for that market to give that aha moment. But the key to here, James, is our infrastructure. I can drive from a hotel to our drill site in an hour and 10 minutes. You can't say that about many exploration projects around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that definitely translates into, lower cost exploration and lower development costs down the line. So, really exciting first result. Could you give us a sense of, over the next 6 months to a year, the exploration work that you have planned, and, with the new investment from Teck, how does that change the scope of any future exploration?
Yeah, look, I believe the market is very, very savvy and smart in terms of the capital side. They know when a raise is expected. There's some overhang, and it stalls your stock. I believe on the geology side, I believe a little bit less savvy, and it takes a little bit more time. Geology is tough. It's a science. You got to go to school a long time for it. So this deal with Teck kind of allowed us to kill two birds with one stone. A, gave us credibility to our current drill hole, which we think is great. But the other thing, it has no overhang for the next little while. So we're able to extend our current drill program this year until the end of October. And for next year, at the very worst case scenario, we can have the same size drill program for next year, fully funded for. So when we stop drilling end of October, we're going to have no overhang. The savvy investors won't see that we're trying to raise, and we'll be able to properly prepare for next season. And hopefully tell some really great assays along the way. So we're drilling all the way till the end of October. Assays will be coming in, probably into the end of January. And, people always ask, can you winter drill? Yes, we can winter drill, but there really is no reason to winter drill if you don't have to, unless you're located on top of a swamp where you can't drill there in the summer. The season off allows you to properly, examine your assays, properly determine where you want to drill next year. And it's all about how many meters you can put in the ground. And in the summer, there's no weather constraints. And the more meters you put in the ground, the cheaper it is. And the more you're able to attack that potential resource.
Yeah, absolutely. I think sounds like there's a lot over the kind of coming 6 months in terms of maybe news flow and assays and exciting exploration. Is there anything else that you would want to tell the community at CEO.CA who might be starting to pay more attention to the American Eagle story, after this big investment from Teck?
Yeah, look, I think finding stories like us or, discoveries, it's like trying to find a needle in the haystack. My job is to make that haystack as small as possible. There's a lot of fast money out there. We want to get away from the fast money, the random ups and downs. We believe that this investment, it's something you buy and you hold on to for 2 or 3 years. You forget about it. I think it's the blue chip of junior exploration companies. And when I talked about making that haystack as small as possible, we have the perfect ingredients for that recipe. We're in a great location. We're right next to infrastructure where they've historically been drilling. There's no fly-in. We have a great partner in Teck. Teck's been part of a lot of great discoveries. They lend us some of their resources. They give credibility to our current program and our property in general. And the other thing is, people always ask how much influence Teck's doing on our exploration program. We have Charlie Gregg and Neil Prowse. They're involved in SK Creek. They're involved in GT Gold. So in terms of renowned exploration geologists with a pedigree for success, look no further than them. So we have the property, we have the team, we have the partner, we have the money, and we just want to kill the market with really great assays. Enough with these pictures, no giving XRFs. We're going to give people real results, so just stand by and watch.
Well, Tony, thanks so much for joining us today. We'll certainly be standing by and keeping an eye out for news in the coming months.
Thanks a lot, James.